Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your #1 online political channel. Is the Gen Z going to replace the spirit of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga? Because I feel that in the political scenery we have currently, we don't have such a strong political leader who is going to champion the welfare of the people of this nation. We don't have such a strong figure like Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who is going to take any government into accountability. And that is why I feel that after the demise of Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, are we going to have the Genzs back? Because there is that belief that the Genzs wanted to champion what Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has always been trying to champion. That the Genzs always wanted the politics of this nation to be transacted by issues. The politics of this nation to be issue-based. And that is why when we add the Gen Z uprising, the Gen Zs never wanted to have any kind of dialogue. But they wanted the government to act. They wanted the government to make sure that the Kenyans are taken forward. They wanted the government in place to make sure that it eradicate corruption, it eradicate mediocrity in the government. And that is why during the Gen Z uprising, those who were in the authority, they wanted to speak to the Gen Zs, but the Gen Zs refused and said that we have been having very many dialogues. We have been consulting for quite too long. This is the time for us to act. That is actually what the Gen Zs said. And since Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, is it going to happen again? Yesterday, I was actually listening to the governor of Siaya, Genzs Orengo. And Genzs Orengo actually talked very passionately about the Gen Zs and how the Gen Zs were actually right and how the Gen Zs wanted to take this country forward by actually making the politicians to understand what the Kenyans want. Please have a listen to Genzs Orengo.
That this Raila legacy will have is whether we'll have a determination of the trajectory of the country, because I regret that in the question of political power, with all those struggles, although we have won on the democratic front, have a great constitution, have a very sensitized citizenry. You know, Kenya now, you cannot do things the way you want. People, are conscious of their rights. But I think the big question, the national question, will be whether we have left the country in the hands of a progressive movement or Moism, and all Kanu politics are back. And I think I see this as the crisis that we are facing. Now, to demonstrate that crisis is that the regret I have about the Gen Z's movement is that it was not allowed to continue to its logical conclusion, because it was a movement which was based on issues. In fact, that was a soft underbelly, they had a specific target, and they used issues that were practical. It was about taxation. It was about poverty. It was about corruption. Issues that guided that movement, the Genzs, into a national movement in which the young people took part from all over the country. And even those in the political class, you'd find people in different political parties, but their kids joining the Genzs movement. Now, when it failed, and I don't think that failure, it's forever. I think it is going to rise again. Is that we have now resorted back to ethnic mobilization. People have gone back. If you hear how we talk in the political parties and how politicians are talking, we are back to our backyards. And I think that is what brought the crisis in Kenya when we had a great national movement led by Kenyatta, Jaramogi. And when we lost sight of the goal, we receded to our ethnic enclaves. Now, every day, it is either the Luos, the Luyas, the Murima, or the Kambas, the Kisis. It is a very dangerous place to be. And I think there should be a reawakening, a renaissance, so that our politics are guided by issues. Because we are too many in this nation that we can't be able to mobilize and succeed on ethnic mobilization.
After listening to that, you can agree to James Orengo that Moism is back. Tribal politics is back. And that is why currently we are hearing. We hear about the mountain. We hear about the Luo Nyanza. We hear about the Gusii Nation. We hear about the Kamba Nation. Which means that we have started falling back to our tribal politics. And the Kenyans actually are against that. The citizens are against that. James Orengo has told us very clearly that there is no any government which is going to take us back from where we have come from. And I concur with James Orengo because the Kenyans are enlightened. The Kenyans have that conscience of democracy. The Kenyans have the conscience that we elect government to serve us and not us to serve the government. So what James Orengo is trying to come up with, that the current politics which we are facing is a very dangerous kind of politics, because this kind of politics is not issue-based, does not acknowledge the democratic space we have. And after the demise of Baba, there are many people who are feeling that Baba championed a lot. And sometimes they feel that that spirit is actually going to be inherited by the young generation. That means the Gen Zs. That if we are not going to be very careful as leaders, the Gen Zs might be back. Because what they wanted to be fulfilled has not been fulfilled. And even if most of the leaders have moved back to their political cocoons, the Gen Zs are watching. And that is why sometimes the Gen Zs don't want to speak, but they need action, as by James Agre Orengo. And the kind of ethnic mobilization that we are doing is wrong. That every tribe is coming together. Every tribe is actually trying to position itself. And that is why we are saying that you can move to a region, you put your region together. I can go to my region, I put my region together as probably as Murima, as the Gusi Nation, as the Luo Nation, as the Kamba Nation. And then we go to the table, to the national table, instead of doing politics as Kenyans, by having a big picture as Kenyans. So that is what James Orengo is trying to put across.